Welcome to Paranormal Puzzlers. When one speaks of witchcraft, one speaks of a very extensive universe of things of some practices incredibly dispersed, and that they also have a lot to do with the social and economic environment of each region. While the term witchcraft in Africa, it represents a thing in Latin America represents another in Haiti. It can be something very different, and for Europe something totally different, but what? What is the fact is that at the level planet the concept of witchcraft is very rooted, as a way to fix certain things, love problems, revenge. You conquer money, affect the other, cause damage, sell the soul of someone, or consecrate to the devil. And there are many practices in fact within the belief, for example, of demonic possession, according to the text. Gabriel Amorth, one of the forms of demonic possession is by a work of witchcraft, if habitually a person can be affected by a presence demonic of its own free will, but on certain occasions, even when the individual did not do it of their own free will, can be done through enchantments or sorcery. That is the general idea in Mexico. There is also everything a world of beliefs about the moorings, the teloche, the concoctions. Damages a number of beliefs that over the years as I bring to know the experiences of many very varied people. Tonight we would like to tell you a couple of these stories if time allows us. The first of them has to do with an event that was narrated to us some time ago in a relative event with a theme of a haunting. The story begins in the year of 1976. A young man from Mexico City, recently graduated as an engineer. Get a job. A relative of yours within a government agency recommends it, and through this he achieves a position within a government Secretary of State. Mexican federal, and this causes him to be transferred to work in Salina Cruz, Oaxaca. Salina Cruz in the 70s to be a small town, very traditional, still with rural areas around where there were dialects, where the people spoke their own languages. The color of the clothing was beautiful, impressive festivities, but Salina Cruz is a port, and obviously the mix of people is tremendous. In the year of 1976 this engineer is sent there. Working in one of the field offices of this secretariat is one thing, to be recommended in a secretary, and that gives you a position, and another is that you have the position secure, because in one of these positions there is usually a lot of competition, so the job is very strong, and it was a very complicated job. Among other things, it implied having to visit communities to make arrangements, dealing with ejidatarios, that it was very complicated in those years to have to be negotiating with people that they did not even speak the same language. Going to add insult to injury, he called himself a pop boy, and he was a pop, and he was the son of a family half that had sent him to a private university, had his own car, and he was dressed in those huge labels on his shirt bell bottoms, medium long hair, sideburns up to here, a peculiar mustache. Well, he told us very funny, this man, that when he arrived in Salina Cruz those people thought that he came from a carnival or something like that, because his clothes were also colorful. Pants were checkered with large bells at the bottom, and shoes that had platforms. And suddenly being told that the woman who cooks the food is a witch gives her exactly the same, he laughs and says, "Man, thanks for telling me. I don't believe in that." I know. Well, I complied with notifying you. No person of the office with him. You will know why. He has actually noticed that even though he was so close to the office, none of his colleagues were going to eating. There was curious, being so close it wouldn't cost them anything to go out and buy food, and also the food was not expensive. The insistence of this man in that point of witchcraft leaves him with a strange feeling, but at the same time he doesn't mind these things much. He doesn't believe in it. He likes the rock of those years, a little disco, believes in free love. He had a bit of a dissolute life, so he doesn't really believe anything that, but to his misfortune 2 days later he receives a notice where they are sending him to Mexico City for training, essentially the government dependencies in Mexico, the offices. Government officials usually train his staff, and coincidentally, it is the city of Mexico. Will be about 15 days. That will be very good for you to go see family, to be at home with his parents, to see friends. Is delighted with that, so he packs his bags and he leaves the first day. Reports to the office. Central to the course being very good is training on some new systems that they are going to implement, and some things. Everything is perfect. He arrives home already in the evening at home. They have waiting with meals, with things. It's a party. He had some time not to go, and it is very well received. It should be noted that when you leave the same, that the last thing any normal person thinks about is going to say goodbye to the owner of the cover, much less go to explain that I go away for a while or anything the next day. Everything continues very well. Have a wonderful breakfast. Everything is very cool. He goes to work. He is in the course, and so a couple more days when he is about to. After the first week, the first rare incident occurs on the night of probably Thursday of that first week. This man has a very strange dream at some point in the early morning. No, you can know with precision dreams of the woman in the cover. And she dreams very annoying, but dreams her others with a very clear audience, very real, as if she was standing on her. Rue in fact does not dream it like it would be normal to dream in the restaurant there in Salina Cruz, but dreams like that. She is in the bedroom. She sees her in the bedroom. The woman is very upset. She approaches and she is angry and her face is observed. That annoyance, that her anger when she is talking, he does not understand what she is saying. She is speaking, the woman is speaking in Zapotec or in some dialect of which they speak over there, but she speaks it with a truly irritated tone, claiming this man awake, startled, drenched in sweat, is in his room, but what he dreamed looks like a lot. That room said that the dream, unlike a conventional dream in where everything changes and everything is upset in. This dream in ample real the woman was, and she could almost touch her, she could almost smell her when she spoke to him closely. She leaves for work the next day at office that she where she is taking the course, and during the day he starts to feel uncomfortable. As if something she has eaten did not taste good when she comes home. She talks about it to her mother. Her mother tells her, I don't want them. Her food is not very clean. Everything is prepared as always, and in addition, they are very innocuous things. Chicken broth, rice, very simple things. Pay man. The mother starts to feel bad. What is it for having eaten so long? There is full of parasites for the night. The situation does feel even worse. The little he has eaten at home has made him die. He is in the bathroom. He has a problem, ghastly gastric by dawn. He has turned his stomach a couple of times, that is to say, he has vomited. A couple of times he has a very lax stomach, very inflamed, it moves inside. It is a very unpleasant situation. I described more, he described it as feel very bad that weekend. He has spent it in bed. He has had temperature. When a doctor comes, is the family doctor, and they know what review sends you some products, some medications, thinking that you might be intoxicated or have any huge concentration of a moonless fact that he returns from the tropics. Food is not usually very clean, and they give all this, but the result is terrible. What he consumes, he returns by Monday morning. He is in the hospital, has a picture of tremendous dehydration. Well, what else he worries him? That's not what he cares about. The most worries is that during the days before, he barely closes his eyes. He begins to have this dream again, where does the woman again and again as the years go by. Days and he is in the hospital. They have him sedate for the pain he is feeling in the stomach. Finds it hard to be in one position in another. No longer eat anything now. Can take no liquid. Cannot eat absolutely nothing, because he promptly returns it. When he gets to fall asleep, wakes up very startled. The dream has changed now, is in the hospital room. Because suddenly, although the woman, she was a woman of about 40 years. No, she was a young woman. But she was not an old woman, was unlucky physically. She was not a pretty woman, nor much less she was a person of unfortunate appearance. But in the dream, in this dream, the appearance general begins to degrade. She is seen wrinkled. He looks gray. He looks very annoying. She knows it's her, but she can be seen terribly angry. And finally, there is a day when there is a dream in which she tells him, you are going to die. That's the word. That's how it describes it. That's it. What she interprets, what she has been told. Around 3 or 4 days in the hospital have determined that it is no longer sustainable. Simple serum to keep you hydrated. It's not enough. You need what they call parenteral nutrition, that is, into one of the arteries, and inject nutrients to sustain life. The exams throw up all sorts of things. The guy has a parasitosis. Tremendous is true, but this is